Behind the Shades.
My name is Melissa McClain. I am a midlife reinvention coach. I am based in Atlanta, Georgia. I have a one-on-one coaching platform. You can find me at melissamcclaincoaching.com. That's MCCLAIN coaching.com. My handle on Instagram is Melissa McClain Coaching as well. Facebook, Melissa McClain Coaching.
Perfect. So take us right from the beginning of it all. When you decided to help people become better, help women find themselves, help women date again, is that part of your journey where you had to find that for yourself, or are you doing it for another reason?
I feel like it's definitely part of my journey. So I empower single women, single and divorced women over 40 to reinvent themselves, to find and attract soulmate love, and to age like a goddess. So that's my passion. So when I think about my history, I mean, I am a product of a single mom who raised two kids by herself. So I know just seeing the struggles of raising two kids and everything that goes along with that, and being the primary caregiver and not really having time for yourself, or even thinking that you have time to allow love in your life. So I think at the crux of it, that's where it comes from. And growing up in that environment, I would say that I struggled for years dating. I would say as a child of that environment, I didn't have the example. I didn't have an example of a two-parent home. So I really struggled in relationships for a lot of years. And I think a lot of that struggle, now that I have invested in myself and can have done the 360 turn, came up from a place of unworthiness and not believing in myself and not knowing what I had to offer somebody else. And when you come from that place of not being crystal clear, not loving yourself, not knowing what you have to offer, you just don't attract the right people. You know, you attract the energy that you're putting out. So when women work with me, that's where we begin. We work on coming from that place of deep self-love. So you're not wasting a bunch of time. You're not going to waste a bunch of time with undesirables, because in midlife, we don't settle. Okay, we've settled in our life, and at midlife, this is not a time to settle anymore.
I'm not even 40 and I can't even work out dating. So can I be your first male client, please? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. I remember in my 20s, I had this dream that I was going to be married, two kids, and ride off into the sunset. I'm in my 30s, no kids, not married, still riding off into the sunset though, believe me. So when you say that there's undesirables, I want to touch on that because I absolutely agree. I think we spend too much time on people that we know deep down in our heart are not going to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
So when you're helping these women go through that and understand that, what are some of the roadblocks that are maybe preventing them from saying, hey, you know, this is going nowhere. Let's cut it now and try to find someone where it can go somewhere?
I mean, there's so many things to unpack. Like, number one, I was coaching someone the other day who just felt like she couldn't even say, listen, you're a nice person, but let's just be friends, because it's not going to go anywhere. You know, so we have to have like the the balls, when you're crystal clear, it begins with getting crystal clear. So like, what is it that you deeply desire? You know, are you wanting to get married? Do you want a long-term relationship and not be married? Do you want to have children? Like, whatever it is, like just being really authentic with that. But then also, as you meet people, sharing that with people, not changing what you want, because maybe there's parts of this person that you like, and you're like, well, I'm going to kind of mold myself to him. No, it's like you're coming from a place of deep self-worth deep self-love, you know exactly what you want, and you're going to verbalize it, and you're going to use your voice. To answer your other question, I think people, they just don't listen to their intuition. You know, those red flags, the pink flags, and that's just like the little nudge inside. That's when you go on a date and you're like, it's that, like this person is a nice person, but it's just, that person is just not for me, nothing personal. And then people don't listen to that. And they think, well, they start changing things. They start like settling. Well, I guess I could just like settling for less. And that's just not what we do in midlife. This is bullshit. This is a time to step it up. You know, we get to a place in life where we get to ask for what we want, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And when you use that muscle of your voice, you just get stronger, and you get stronger every time.
For me, sometimes I look at dating as like this curve where, and I think maybe this impacts women a little bit more, where you have people that come into your life, and because you're in your 20s, you're willing to entertain any and everyone, right? Because you're still trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you reach a certain age, and I think women reach this sooner, where they're like, hey, I want a family. I need to figure this out a lot faster than my male counterparts because of biology, right? It's a little bit different. And I think where I come in and where I feel a little bit saddened for women is, to your point, where they reach their midlife and they're thinking, Johnny down the street, I don't really like him, but he says some of the nice things some days when I'm feeling kind of low. How about if I give him an opportunity, knowing it's not going to go anywhere? And as you mentioned, they're picking from a pool that they know is kind of rotten or poison in a way, but you have a choice then, right? Do I die alone? Or, to use your word, do I take on someone where I'm like, yeah, this kind of feels like I'm settling? Does that happen to some of the clients you deal with?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listening to your intuition is key. Like, we have to, and you can meet people anywhere. So some people, I mean, just they have a hard time online dating. That's just an avenue. You can meet your soulmate. Like, we want soulmate love, right? We want deep, sexy love, like best friend love, like getting clear on that. But you can meet that person anywhere. You know, it's about being magnetic and sparkly and learning the art of flirtation. And I thought it was really interesting because just even having eye contact with someone, smiling at people, letting them know that you're available. And when you look at the statistics, or you hear from men, a lot of people, they just look away. You know, you may look at someone, they just like look away, but it's like, no, you know, and they're doing it like out of fear. Like, you know, even though they're totally available, when you do that, you don't make a man know that you're available. You know, men get a lot of pressure. It's like, you're supposed to be the ones that ask a woman out, and you're supposed to lead, and we want you to lead, right? But no one really teaches a lot of men that, on how to do that. So it's okay to kind of lead and do things without like really leading.